Hello and welcome to Social Studies class. Today we are going to be reviewing the three branches of the U.S. government. This will be important to know and going forward, an important thing to not only know what they are, but what the differences are. These are the three branches that were established in the U.S. Constitution when it was ratified. And they comprise the three main parts that our federal government is made up of. So let's take a deeper dive into these. The first one is the executive branch. The executive branch is headed by the President of the United States. The President directs government, commands the armed forces, deals with international powers, acts as chief law enforcement officer, and has the power to veto, which also means to reject laws that come to him. So the job of the executive branch is to enforce laws, the laws of the Constitution, federal laws, and to ensure that state laws are not going against federal law. The second branch is the legislative branch. This is made up of the Congress. Congress has two main houses, the House of Representatives and the Senate. House of Representatives, these are both elected positions. House of Representatives, we elect representatives every 2 years. They serve a 2-year term. The amount of representatives in the House of Representatives depends on the size of the state. So larger states like California, Texas, New York have more representatives in the House, and smaller states, Hawaii, Alaska, Wyoming, states like that have smaller representation. They have less representatives there. The Senate is a bit different. There's always 2 from every state. So the Senate remains, senators serve a 6-year term. There's always 2 from every state, like I said. So there's always 100 senators representing in the Senate. Powers that they have, they get to make the laws. They determine the laws by writing them, voting on them. Usually laws come from the House of Representatives. They're voted, and if they're passed there, they go to the Senate. Once it's approved there, it goes on to the president to ratify or to veto. Remember, the president, to go back, has the power to veto laws that come to him. So whoever the president is can reject a law if they do not agree with it. If it is vetoed, it goes back to the Senate and to the House of Representatives to either make altercations or to make a case that it should not have been vetoed. And we have the third branch, the judicial branch. This is the courts. These are the judges. It's headed by the Supreme Court, which is the highest court in the land. The courts have the power to interpret the Constitution. They review laws. So when laws are passed by the House of Representatives and the Senate, and if they're approved by the president, they go up for review to make sure that they're constitutional. Neither the executive nor the legislative branch is allowed to pass laws that go against our Constitution unless there's an amendment made to the Constitution, which we'll talk about some amendments later on. But generally, they are the ones who review to make sure that all laws that are passed are constitutional. They also are in charge of deciding cases that involve the states' rights. So remember, this is the federal U.S. government. This is the federal U.S. judicial branch. So when there's issues in states, and states don't feel like they are being treated fairly by the federal government, the judicial branch gets to decide those cases. So they usually see very few cases, the Supreme Court does, but the cases that they do see have large importance on our government. So that was the three branches. To review again, we have executive, that's the president and the law enforcement. The legislative, that's Congress, the lawmakers. And we have the judicial branch, and that's the judges, headed by the Supreme Court. So that is the three branches of government. Hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please make sure you reach out to me. Also, I will have some questions for you to make sure that you watch this video in Google Classroom. So look out for that, and I will see you next time. All right, bye.